If it's too dark, I'm a little scared. But if there's a little light, I'm not scared. Well, sometimes if me and Elisha is in a dark place, sometimes she scares me.
My biggest fear is settling and not becoming all I know I can be. Like, huge fear. Well, I know a lot of people, especially Fresno, it's really popular to like kind of get married young or kind of like settle into a relationship really young. But I know that the way I am, if I'm in a relationship, I'll put the other person first and I'll compromise a lot. But I know where I want to be in my career, and I feel like I can't have both. So when people approach me or want to be in a relationship with me, I tend to go no, because I need to get this done. And so I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, my biggest fear is settling. But I don't want to like start a family and get married and then look back and go, I settled, because I know what I want. And I know I want this career that requires a lot of me, and I don't feel like I can have both. When I look back, I know that in the past, that's how they've made me feel. Like my goals and my dreams needed to be put on the back burner so I can pop out some kids. Well, yeah, I can have like a kind of messed up view because of my past, but this, I guess it might be a me problem.
You know, actually, my biggest fear might be actually I'll never feel love for myself. Like, that's the biggest fear. And I feel like I try to find love in other people because I want to affirm that. Yeah, just every interaction feels like it's some sort of test. Some sort of test to myself. Like, that like, you are lovable or not, or, you know. Like, love, I feel like love triggers me so much. Or like, not even love, it's not love, because what I was trying to find was not love. It's more like reassurance, it's more like attachment. What I did was like, I got so attached to this person that like I wanted to control, no, it's not control them, but it was like, I got what I wanted, or like what I thought I wanted, and then I kind of just blew it up. Like, I kind of self-sabotaged myself, and just, it's like I don't deserve love, so I sabotage any chance it'll happen, if that makes sense. 'Cause it's uncomfortable. Even the possibility of love is like uncomfortable in my mind because I'm not used to it. So I did something horrible.
Failure. Like failure to like meet certain expectations. Like putting so much of yourself into something and kind of not, I don't know, I guess it's just having that expectation and not meeting it, or like these certain goals. Well, getting into Juilliard is connected to that, and like doing theater and the amount of debt I'll be in at the end of Juilliard. And just living in New York, just living far away. I mean, I think I could do it. Like, I know I can do it, but it's just like, there's still that fear where it's just like, okay, like, fuck. Like, yeah, like there's going to be some hard times, and I know it, that it's okay. But then there's still that fear of like, okay, like, I hope it's worth it in the end, which you know, like, you know it is. You keep telling yourself that it is, but then there's still like that fear that lingers in your mind, like, what if it doesn't work out, you know? Well, it's not a sense of pleasing. It's so they wouldn't have to worry about me. But of course, like with the path that I chose, you know, you're constantly reminded that it's hard and everything. And it's just like, okay, well, let me just keep going and we'll see where it takes me. And I'm just hoping it works out in the end. So then they don't have to say I told you so or something. I don't know.
So there's this guy, and he doesn't live close, so it would be long distance. And I've been in a long distance relationship before, so I understand that it requires like you to set aside time. And I feel like, in my opinion, you have to kind of have a relationship with your phone, which I'm not a fan of. And so I decided that we should probably stop talking or stop trying to pursue a relationship, because I was telling him, hey, I want to do, like, I'm transferring into another school. I have my job. I have James. Like, I can't promise you I'll be able to set aside this time every day to make sure I'm putting time and effort into a relationship. And his big thing was like, well, then you can just move to where I'm at, and then we'll do this, and then we'll get married, and then we'll have kids. And I'm like, well, what about me? Like, what about what I want to do? Like, I'm transferring into this school. If I move to where you are, that's a whole nother step added to my process. Then I have a child. That's a whole nother step added to that process, you know? And his thing was like, well, don't you just want to be with me? And I'm like, I do, but then I don't. Like, it's not enough. And it sounds really bad, but I had to, like I said, I had to step away and go, I think this is happening. Like, I'm not willing to compromise because I know what I want.
Well, for the longest time, I like ran away from it. But then when you're alone, you can't run away from it because you're alone, and it's always there with you, and no one's there to distract you from it. Like, especially at night when you're like asleep or like about to go to sleep. And I think this is why these thoughts come up. Like, a lot of people have these thoughts come up at night, is because that's the only time you're truly alone, and your thoughts are like, well, this is the real you, and you don't want to show this part of you ever, because you can't change it if you keep rejecting it, you know. But I do think everybody else has the same fear, because in the end we all want to be just loved.
That fear sort of drives me in a way. Like, it scares me, but at the same time it drives me, because like I refuse to fail. And I was like, I'm so scared of it that I'm like, no, like, doing more will keep me from that, and in a way it makes me more productive. So I guess it's a good fear to have, as long as you don't let it cripple you and like keep you from doing what you want to do. But like, there's still always going to be that fear of failure. Like, anytime I had any doubts about theater, though, like within the last 5 years, anytime I had any doubts, like something would happen where it would just be like, no, you're on the right path. Like, I would get like, there's like certain roles that came up, or like apprenticeships, or just any sort of situation from like the universe or energy around us that like was just like, no, like, keep going. People's opinions don't matter as much with my thicker skin. The fear of failure will always be there. It's not like I deal with it any differently. Like, it's just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going. Like, it's the same. You shouldn't let the fear of the future keep you from what you should do in the present right now. Because you don't know. Those are things you've made up in your head.
Bye.